Hey guys, this is Alexus. I've made YouTube videos before, but this one I'm making for a completely different reason. Excuse me if I sound stuffy, but for the past month, God has been telling me to make this video for you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what happened, but I feel like there's a lot of you. Sorry if I'm out of breath trying to prepare and record this video, but I feel like there's a lot of you that need to hear this. But based off of the title of this video, I think you pretty much know what we're talking about. And I'm not a YouTuber. I don't know much about hashtag or YouTube algorithm. But I believe that even if this video reaches 5 people, if that whoever it reaches, you'll get something out of it because it was meant for you. It was made for you. For a month, God has been telling me that I need to tell you guys my story, my testimony of grief. And it's time. It's time to tell you that story. This is for you. As I said, this is completely God. I'm only doing this because He really didn't give me much of a choice. So if that says a lot about how much He cares about you. So, my name is Alexus. In 2020, I had a daughter. Her name was Cyan Williams. She was beautiful, opinionated, wonderful from really birth. My pregnancy wasn't easy. 3 months after she was born, I had to have a surgery to have my organ removed. For the most part, it was what I wanted it to be. You know, I had midwives like I wanted. I had a doula like I wanted. But the support from the people around me, I didn't really have, which is why, of course, I had a doula. But that happens. You know, that's common for a lot of us, especially for Black women. So I pretty much was a single mother. So for 7 months, I took care of my daughter. My family helped. They were wonderful. And in August of 2020, she was born on January 6th. In August of 2020, we had a very normal routine. Because I was very much a mom of routine, like, you know, making homemade baby food and making sure she had a good sleeping schedule and regular doctor's appointments and anything I could possibly do to make her life easier. I did it. Easier and better, and just being the mom that I wanted to be. I always wanted a daughter. I knew from childhood that if I had a baby, I wanted it to be a girl. And I remember finding out her gender and crying because, to be honest, I wasn't sure if I could go through with having a baby, especially the way that I was having a baby with the person I was having it with. I was just kind of like, I don't know. But the minute I saw that it was a girl, it just screamed purpose to me. I was like, I know God's going to give me a baby. It has to be a girl, so this makes sense. But we had a very normal day. I cooked dinner. I had her in a little sorry. I had her in a little bouncer. And I laid her down to go to sleep. And I finished my chores for the night. And I went back to check on her. And she was breathing. I then took her off of the bed she was laying on and began to perform CPR on her while I had the ambulance on the line. So I'm performing CPR on my baby. I can feel the heaviness and lifelessness in her body. And now at this moment, let's pause there. My relationship with God was good. You know, I'm changing the music I listen to make sure that I'm providing for her in everywhere, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And, you know, I'm praying over her. I'm being everything that a Christian mother or a mother who believes in God would be. And so in this moment, after being this woman, after being everything that I know I could be in every way possible, I'm holding my daughter's lifeless body in my hands. I'm handing her over to a paramedic, and I'm breaking down while seeing lights all around me, police lights, ambulance lights, and going to the hospital. I completely still had hope. I prayed. I believed God. I'm like, God, we're homies, we besties, we here. We're here. So I'm like, why? This is not going to be my life. You'll fix this. You've done this for other people. You perform miracles. There's no way that this is going to happen to me, right? No, that can't happen. So I'm in the hospital room. My family's there, and the more that my family comes into this room, the heavier really it becomes. They're here to support me, but I can't believe the seat I'm sitting in. Like, this will pass. This will pass. This is not going to happen. She'll be fine. The doctors will say that she'll be fine. Everything's fine. And the doctor comes in, and she says, "There's nothing else we can do." And now in this very moment, I have to accept the fact that my beautiful dream, my daughter, the love of my life, is gone. She's stolen from me in the middle of the night. And now I have to live with that. I have to live with the fact that the love of my life, my reason, my why, my everything is gone. And I can't do anything about it. There's not a prayer I can pray. There's not a thing I can do. She's gone. She's gone. And I was angry with God because, well, God, I did everything they said I should do. I am everything they said I should be. Why would you not? You don't like me? You don't love me. You don't love me. You don't love me like like you say you love me. And I hated God because you took from me the only thing that mattered to me. You took from me my purpose. You took from me everything I needed. I needed her. I needed her. And I hated God. I didn't believe in God anymore. Because there's no way that you love me, you would let this happen. You would do this to me. You don't love me. You don't love me. And so I then coped in any way I knew how. I drank a lot. I smoked a little, or I would just eat edibles, or whatever would make it easier for me to deal with the pain. But I was still suicidal. I didn't want to live. I couldn't find a reason to live. Nothing did it for me anymore. I had no goals anymore. Like, there was nothing that lit a fire under me anymore. There was not a career. There was not a vacation. There was not a destination spot. There was not a situation. There was not a relationship that could give that back to me, or that I could love that same way. That's how I felt. And everything was dry. Everything was bleak. And I didn't care. I had no goals anymore. When my daughter was here, I had a date that I was going to be opening a business. I had regular mentors, investors, people building a team of people that actually most people didn't know about because I was focused. But I didn't want that anymore for myself. I didn't care to have those things. And so I was depressed. I was suicidal. It was a way of life for me for, honestly, a year or two. My daughter passed away in 2020. I just built a relationship with God again in the top of 2022. it wasn't until the top of 2022 that I believed in God again, but we'll get there. I was suicidal. I didn't believe God. I didn't use God. God wasn't there for me. It was obvious to me that God wasn't there for me. And I remember this time that there were times, and I won't go into detail, that I did not want to live, and I was trying to find ways to not do that anymore, because that was my life. She was love for me, embodied, and it was gone. And I remember, though, at the end of 2021, God began to reveal things to me. And honestly, it wasn't just that he was revealing things to me. He was changing the way that I hear. Even the simplest movies, the music, I began to be hypersensitive to things. And in that way, God was able to speak to me in a way that only he could speak to me at that time. And honestly, everybody's story is going to be different as to how they find God again. But it started simply with just being like, I don't want to hurt. And I want to believe in love. And I want to believe in better life. Because if not that, I'm just living for other people for a while. And my family doesn't know this, but they'll watch this because they know it. For a while, I only lived for them. I only lived because I knew I didn't want them to hurt anymore. I told myself that. I stuck it out because I was like, they've lost my daughter. That hurt them. Losing me would hurt them. So I will live. I will go through the motions for them. That was it. That was my life for a year, maybe, just going through the motions just so they don't have to hurt anymore. They were my reason. They became my new why. And God just began to open my eyes to things. Like, God will genuinely get to you however he needs to get to you. And it started very simple. Like, I wasn't going back to church. I grew up in church. Church was not the way for me. Church was not going to get me to where I needed to be. So, and God didn't pressure me. I felt no inkling to go to church. I felt no inkling to read my Bible. Because that's just not where it would have happened for me. So I just honestly simply started to listen to songs that I used to like before my daughter passed away. Songs that were hard for me to listen to because I didn't believe the words in them. Slowly living life, going and getting through things and seeing that God is there. That God helped me in many, many, many situations get through that. God helped me move to another state. God helped me survive in that state. Even in the mindset I was in, God provided for me in ways that I didn't care to even be provided for because I didn't care about anything. But he was there. And so, no Bible, no church. Barely even a sermon, maybe here and there. I don't even know. But the moment I remember is my ears and eyes were open. I could feel the fact that the smallest movies. I watched Frozen 2. And I just remember getting something from everything. I watched a lot of Disney Plus because it was just comforting for me. Moana, Frozen 2. I know it sounds ridiculous, but the messages in those movies, I began to get something from it. I began to be like, wow, I never saw this in this way. He was using just the very everyday things. And what did it for me was I watched The Shack. And I know if you're a Christian, you've probably heard of The Shack. But in The Shack, Mac loses his daughter brutally. She's kidnapped. She's tortured. She's murdered. And in this movie, God steps in and allows Mac to be angry, to hate him, to talk at him, to argue with him, to accuse him. And the God personified in this movie allowed him to do it all. while just reassuring him that was not my plan for you. And in this movie, Mac is just basically going through the process of grief. He's angry. He's not himself. He's not who he used to be. And God is there in 3 different ways, holding Mac's hand, allowing Mac to be angry at God. And there's this part of the movie that gets a little eerie to me. But Mac is in this place where he is now sitting in God's seat. And every bad person and every good person he knows is up for judgment. And judgment says, you choose. You choose in that moment. So it was those moments where I'm learning God through in this way. I'm not even learning God. I'm seeing God for what he's been to me, and in my own way. And there's a part in this movie where, and I encourage you to watch it, but there's a part in this movie where God, for one, is whatever Mac needs. First, God is a mother, and then God is a father. And in this moment that God is a father, he says, this is what you needed today. And it takes Mac the process of forgiving the murderer and forgiving God and forgiving himself for not being there. And then they bury they never found the body in the movie. But God allows Mac to find his daughter body, bury her beautifully in cloths and flowers, carries her to the church, gives her to God, and then he gets to see her happy and wonderful and beautiful. And I had to do that on the inside. I genuinely had to bury my daughter spiritually. And I had to forgive myself for not being there the way that I wish I could have been there. And remind myself that God was always there, and that he's not the kind of God that would have left her, because he's never left me and he's never left you. And that even in the moment where the enemy is there to kill, steal, and destroy, he came to take me out. He knew that she was the key to kill me, to kill everything on the inside of me. He wanted me dead. He didn't want me here to make this video for you. But I am. This is a miracle. This is proof of a miracle that you can get past this. That one day the sun will shine again. That things won't be this way always. And that God did not want this for you. God didn't want this for you. God didn't make this happen. God was there though. God was there. Just like God was there for Mac in the movie. He never left his daughter even in the ugliest of moments. He didn't cause the ugliest of moments because there is an enemy. There is someone that from the time you were born, he had it out for you. He always has and he always will. And that was one of those moments that were meant to shake, kill, destroy, and steal from me. And yes, I lost the love of my life. But God has redeemed me. I'll never have her back. I'll never get to see how old she'll be. I'll never get to see her first steps. And I'll never get to see her first teeth. That was stolen from me. That was stolen from you. It was. And that sucks. But this is not the end. And your baby, your beautiful, precious baby, regardless of if you got to hold them or not, they are in a better place. That hurts. That's not enough. There are no words that could explain losing something so precious, other than the fact that we live in a dark world. We live in a dark world. Things happen. Terrible things happen all the time. But God is good. God is a redeemer. You live in a dark world. But God is light. And he will redeem you one day. I didn't think that I would want to be here to make this video or ever even want to talk about God in this way. To believe him or to ever trust him again. But my life is better now. I know I'm loved. God has provided for me, even in the strangest of situations. He's held my hand and healed my heart. And he will do the same thing for you. But regardless of if you met your child, if you held them, if you birthed them, however old they are. I don't care if they're 2, 23, 7, 70. That was your baby. And I don't care how. Don't get caught up on how they were taken from you. When they were taken from you. They were taken from you. And that is enough. You are not, because you didn't meet the baby, because the child wasn't this old. This is your grief. This is your story. And I hope that my story, my deliverance, helps someone else be delivered. Help someone else want to live another day. Because the sun will rise again tomorrow. It won't last forever. You will live again. You will walk again. You will want to wake up one day again. And you might not want to today. And that's okay. God is okay with you not wanting to wake up today. He's okay with that. He's okay if you're not ready right now. He's okay if you don't want to go to church. He's okay if you don't want to pray. He's okay if you don't trust him. But he will chase you. Especially if he has a purpose on your life. And I feel like you know that. You believe that. Like I said, this video was for a very specific audience. God wanted me to make this video for you. And I'm so thankful I did. Because he's wanted me to make it for a month. I don't know what today means for you, but it's for you. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. I hope I don't have to re-record this video. But believe God. If there's something I can share more in depth on, I will. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to reach anyone, but I'm just being obedient. I can go into more detail if you would like me to about how I got to this point. But be blessed, be strong. Actually, don't be strong. Be weak. Be weak and let God carry you through this. He will carry you through this. You will make it through. Take it from me, I'm not special. You will come out on the other side. Cry. Hurt. Be angry. You lost something precious and somebody stole it from you. But put your animosity towards that person. Think about the kind of woman you're destined to be. Why did this happen? It's unfair. But one day you'll see. And you'll be okay. And I'm your friend. I'm here for you. God's here for you. I will hold your hand. We can do this together. Comment below if there's more you would like from me. If you would like more of these videos. A day in the life of after losing a child or something like that. So, thank you.